Hi guys, Determined Gardener here. I was at my local nursery and that's right, this stopped me in my tracks. Take a look at this beautiful Annabelle hydrangea. It is not only big, but it is bursting with so many blooms. Now, how do you get your hydrangea to look like this? It's not as hard as you think. It's just about TLC. Let's first talk about sunlight. Hydrangea needs at least 6 to 8 hours of sun daily. If you have a hydrangea that is not blooming, it's probably in the wrong place. You need to probably move it and put it in a sunny spot. So that's the number one thing, sunlight. Now let's talk about watering. Hydrangeas are very thirsty plants. That means that you have to be watering them consistently. The word hydrangea means water. So that means if you're not watering your hydrangea, then these beautiful blooms will start to turn brown and ugly, and you don't want that. So again, make sure you're watering your hydrangea even if you are in a cooler zone. Now, if you're in a very hot zone, you should be definitely watering your hydrangea at least twice, maybe 3 times a day. Make sure they're nice and moist. Now, the third secret to getting your hydrangea this big and beautiful is fertilizing. I never used to fertilize my hydrangea, and it would give me a couple of blooms. When I started to fertilize my hydrangea, that's when I saw the results like this. Fertilize your hydrangea in the early spring. That's the secret. And once it starts to pop up, this is what you'll have, something this big and beautiful. And check out the blooms. They're almost as big as my entire hand, and that's what I love about these hydrangeas. Now, the Annabelle series is one of those hydrangeas that come back year after year, but you have to remember sometimes they are very floppy. The bigger the blooms, the floppier it gets, but this one seems to be standing tall. So again, remember these tips when it comes to your hydrangeas. Another reason why this hydrangea is probably this big is because it's planted in the ground. That's right. If you have a hydrangea, it's okay to keep it in a pot, but hydrangeas really need a lot of breathing room. They need elbow room. So if you do have a hydrangea, put it in the ground right now. If you are buying a hydrangea now, it's still okay to plant that hydrangea in your garden. It will be better in the garden than staying in the pot. Now, if you do have a small garden and you can't have a hydrangea this big, because this hydrangea is at least 4 feet tall, you can keep it in the pot, but just make sure you water thoroughly. If you do have it in a pot, the likelihood of it drying out is very possible, so you make sure that you water it consistently if you do have it in a pot. But just take another look at this hydrangea. It is gorgeous. This is an Annabelle hydrangea. We have mophead hydrangeas and the pinnacle variety, and this one is more of the bigger blooms. You can just see how big and tight they are. This is a very good beginner hydrangea plant. Now, if you want one of the other hydrangeas, which is a mophead variety, that is a little harder to deal with. This hydrangea grows, and this is the reason why this is such a beginner-friendly hydrangea. This hydrangea grows on what's called new wood. So that means once all these blooms get old and not so good looking, you can just start pruning these hydrangeas down, prune off the blooms, and then you don't have to worry about pruning off the blooms because it will re-bloom for you next season. In my opinion, I think the paniculata hydrangeas are better than the mophead hydrangeas for beginners because it grows on old wood. If you have a hydrangea and it's not blooming, you may have cut the blooms off early from the previous season. And that's the reason why I always recommend for beginners, if you plan on buying a hydrangea, to get the paniculata ones. The mophead variety ones are really great, and those are the ones you see in the big box stores all the time. But the thing is, when it comes to mophead hydrangeas, you can change the color from blue to pink to blue. You can't change the colors with the paniculata hydrangeas. If you want to find out how to change your hydrangea color, I just happen to have made a simple tutorial showing you how to do that. You want to definitely check out that video. But speaking of colors, paniculata hydrangeas, which are football shaped, they do change color. They start off green, that lime green color, and then they have this beautiful, pristine, bridal white. And then, if you're lucky enough, they have this beautiful blush color. If you live in a cooler climate, you'll get that blush color earlier. Unfortunately, if you live in a hotter climate, you may not get that blush color at all because the paniculata hydrangeas really need that cooler temperature to turn that blush color. I hope these simple and easy tips that I provided will help you keep your hydrangea beautiful all season long. Thanks so much for joining me here on my channel. If you got any good useful information from this video, please do me a favor, like this video, share with your family and friends, but better yet, join the family and subscribe to my channel. I love hanging out with you guys. I just happen to have made a membership for exclusive videos that you can get on my channel. I'll be giving you behind the scene highlights, exclusive tours, and of course, simple tutorials for you to follow. So again, thank you so much for joining me here on my channel, The Determined Gardener. Don't forget to subscribe, like my channel, and join my membership if you want to. Happy gardening. Keep on watching.